Hello delegates, so today I'll be going over on how to write a resolution. Resolution writing is an essential part to model UN conferences. And while a decent amount of time is set to give speeches, a lot of your time will be allocated to writing a resolution. A resolution is a document in which you, along with other delegates, are providing solutions on how to solve a certain issue or topic that is being discussed during debate. A lot of this resolution writing process will take place during unmoderated caucuses where you will collaborate with other countries or characters depending on what committee you're in. And you're fleshing out all your ideas on what you want to include in your resolution on how to solve the issue. And so what I have here is an example of what a very basic draft resolution or a resolution would look like. This is one that I previously wrote during a practice conference. And so you can see here there's a very basic format. I will go over on how formatting goes for a draft or for a resolution. Right here we have a heading, and then down here we have what are known as preambulatory clauses, and everything below that are operative clauses. So all the way down to here, those are operative clauses. I will go over what each of those mean, but next I will go over on how the process of writing a resolution goes. So the way a resolution is formed is it starts out as what we refer to as a working paper. A working paper is essentially like the first draft of your resolution. It's not perfect and it will definitely need work, but you have laid out the overall foundation of what will be included in your resolution. At some point during the committee, there will be readers who will be looking over your working paper and will give feedback on what to fix, what you need to expand, etc. So readers are basically staff members that will give you certain feedback, like expand on this operative clause. It would be nice if you elaborated on this and just give you overall feedback on your working paper. Some schools will just leave comments on your working papers on what to fix, and other schools will also have the readers speak to the working groups privately and discuss with them about their working paper and how to improve from there. So the chances of it being passed during voting block are to be more likely. So in the example that I had set up, as you can see here, this is what this is an example of what some commentary by readers would look like. So this is a bit big. How would you combat this? So they would just highlight specific parts in your working paper and just make comments on it, such as these, just to help you figure out on how to make your resolution better. So going back to it, after the chairs give you enough time to edit and write your working paper, the chairs will give you a specific time of when they want your working papers to be submitted to them. Once you submit your working paper to the dais, it will no longer be referred to as a working paper. And from there on, it will be referred to as a draft resolution. And it is very important to note this. Once you submit the working paper to the dais, you can no longer make any direct changes to your draft resolution. Any change you would like to make would be in the form of an amendment, which will be submitted to the dais. After submitting any amendments to the dais, debate will close and you will go into voting block, where you will first vote on all the amendments for the resolutions. So they will go over each of the amendments that working groups have submitted to them, such as an amendment would be like take out this operative clause or add sub-operative clause to operative clause blank, just minor changes like that. After they go through all the amendments and vote on those, we will vote on the overall draft resolutions. And if your working group's draft resolution gets passed by a majority vote, then congrats, your draft resolution is now a resolution. So going forth, I understand how the terminology with working paper, draft resolution, and resolution can be a bit confusing, like what is what. Essentially, a working paper, a draft resolution, and a resolution, they are all the exact same document. These different titles refer to at what point in the writing stage are you at. So working paper is the very beginning. Again, your first draft. Draft resolution is you are slightly in the middle, close to being done, and then resolution is like your final edit. It is complete and it has been voted on and it has been passed. So next we will go over the different parts of a resolution. So there are three main parts to a resolution. There is the heading, preambulatory clauses, and the operative clauses. The heading just serves as your title. Preambulatory clauses almost serve as your introduction and your remarks to the issues being addressed, while operative clauses are your plans in fixing the issues. I will get more into detail about preambulatory clauses and operative clauses in different videos, but for now I'll show you what a heading looks like, since it is the easiest thing to have done for a resolution. So your heading is going to include four different things. It is going to include your committee name. So if you are in a General Assembly talking about reintegrating child soldiers from post-conflict nations, they will, of course, you will know what committee you are in as you sign up for these different committees. So you will have the committee names. For example, with that topic, the committee name would be UNICEF. Or you can also just address it to the General Assembly. Sponsors, it will include sponsors, which are the people who are writing this resolution. So if you and other delegates such as like Belarus, Argentina, Democratic Republic of the Congo, those would be your sponsors as long as they are the ones in that writing process of a resolution. You're also going to want to include your signatories. Signatories are people who would like to see your draft resolution get passed or to be voted on. So they aren't necessarily in that writing stage. However, they have taken a look at your resolution and would like to see it be voted on and see how it goes from there. And then the last thing you want to include is the topic. Of course, how would you have a paper without discussing what the topic is? And so here I have an example of what a heading would look like. If you look here is the topic, reintegrating children from post-conflict nations. This is also a small title of what the resolution is called. So this is called Resolution 1.1. And if you have noticed, based on the title of this is a resolution, meaning that this did pass. If it did not pass, then it would just still remain as Draft Resolution 1.1. But however, since it did pass and people voted on it, it is now Resolution 1.1. Below that, you have the sponsors, which is Argentina, Democratic Republic of the Congo, France, Hungary, Kazakhstan, Nepal, and Saudi Arabia. So these are the people who were in that writing process of creating this resolution. And then below that, you have the signatories: Afghanistan, Belarus, Cambodia, Libya, South Africa, United States of America, Egypt, Fiji, Russia, Burundi, Japan, Brazil, Laos, Vietnam, and Haiti. So again, signatories are the people who would like to see this resolution be voted on. And then below that, you have the committee name, which is the General Assembly. So next, here I have an example of preambulatory clauses. These are examples that were taken from that the example that I showed you earlier of my working group's resolution that we wrote. So these are some preambulatory clauses. Like I said earlier, preambulatory clauses are just introductions and your remarks to issues being addressed. So they're not much action heavy, but just rather as like acknowledging different points in this stage to where you are now and having this debate. I will get more into this in another video. From there, I will move on to operative clause. So here is an operative clause. An operative clause is very different from what a preambulatory clause is, and you're going to want to write a lot more operative clauses than you have preambulatory clauses. This is where the action comes in. This is where you want to include what actions are you going to take to solve the issues. So it says here, requests a database for tracking the progress of child soldiers treatment, including child soldiers that have come in contact with NGOs, child soldiers who are in contact with their guardians/parents, locations of focus groups of child soldiers, and needs of child soldiers in the field. So this is basically like they are saying we need a database to track children soldiers and where they are being taken to, if any of them have been kidnapped, and so on. And with that, that is the very basic and introduction of the resolution writing process. Again, I will include another video that will go more into depth on operative clauses and preambulatory clauses, since they are a bit more difficult to write, I would say, and they need a lot more focus on. But other than that, that is the introduction of writing a resolution. Hopefully, you guys have learned from this, and I will give you guys another video on preambs and operative clauses.